Hi folks, Andrew Huffer here. Very excited to have you with me today on today's webinar. Stick with me and I'm going to help you to understand the people within your audience and the different behavioural styles they have and the different needs and the things they're going to be wanting and demanding from you in your presentation. I'm also going to help you to design your presentation to cater for this and give you some simple strategies to engage each style within your presentation. As a bonus for sticking with me, at the end of the webinar, I'll provide you with a link to download a checklist to help you meet the presentation needs of the 4 styles of people that will be attending your presentations. But first, I'm going to start things off by dropping the F-bomb. Yep, the F word is coming out in an admission I'm about to make. You see, when I started off running workshops and doing presentations, my focus was too often on the F word. Can you imagine what kind of train wreck that resulted in? Yep, I was too focused on people having fun. Whew, there it is, the F-bomb goes off again. You see, having fun was great for about 25% of the audience. For the remaining 75%, well, my guess is that they were sitting there thinking about how to build a life-size Andrew voodoo doll as a means of revenge for me wasting their time. I often wondered about those sudden stabbing pains afterwards. Later, I discovered the Cliq colours cards. Then I realised I'd only been catering for one behavioural style in my presentations, and that was my style. Today, I'm going to help you to avoid that mistake. So what are the Cliq cards? Well, the Cliq colours represent 4 sub-personalities that make up every individual. The creators of the cards spent decades using a variety of personality profiling tools. In fact, they analysed over 60 different types in developing the Cliq model. They come up with the 4. Let's see what they are. There's the analyzer, the safekeeper, the player, and the carer. As I move on, I want you to have a look at each of the different styles and get a sense of which style best describes you. And as a warning, we all have an element of each style within us. It's just there's one that we're most comfortable with. So let's have a look at each style in more detail. These are the 4 people, or the 4 styles, that are going to be at your presentation. Firstly, there's going to be the analyzer. They have an analytical approach to their work and apply logical thinking. They enjoy problem solving and have a real talent for dealing with complex issues. Next is the safekeeper. They have a practical approach to their work, but are generally risk averse. They're pretty conservative in the work environment. They're comfortable with a well-organised and structured approach to their work and are always on time, if not early. The player has a curious and creative approach to their work. They're very energetic, they enjoy loads of variety and like to take on new challenges. And they're always interested in new innovations. The carer, they have a sensitive and people-focused approach to their work. They enjoy building relationships and are comfortable in working as a team member. More importantly, they're good at listening to others. So what does this mean to you? Well, in your presentation, you're going to need to engage each of these styles. And in a moment, I'll show you how. But looking at that number 1, avoid just designing the presentation just for that one style, your style. This is the one that you're most familiar with and comfortable with. So I want you to really push yourself and think about meeting the needs of the other styles. Here are 4 simple tips to kick off with. Credibility, well, that's about having the relevant facts and proof. That'll meet the needs of the analyzer. Having structure means that you'll have your presentation moving in a logical sequence, which will meet the needs of the safekeeper. Creativity is about keeping people engaged and will meet the needs of the player. Having that human element in there is about providing connection and stories to meet the needs of the carer. So now I've got a checklist for you to help you to engage each of those styles. Bear in mind as we go through, I'm not saying do all of these things, I'm suggesting at least using one of them to help keep these people engaged throughout your presentation. Let's start off with the analyzer and beginning with the end in mind. It's okay to give these guys some time and space to reflect. So at the end of your presentation, don't be scared if there's a gap or brief silence when you initially ask for questions. That's probably just the analyzer thinking things through. So maybe just count to 5 after you've asked for questions. Probably do that to yourself rather than counting aloud. That's kind of a bit freaky for people. On a serious note, never apologise for any element of your presentation. There's so many I've been to where people say, oh, I'm sorry for the small font. I know you can't read this graph. Oh, I had to do this in a hurry. Oh, it's not my work. Stop it. You're wasting your time and you're wasting theirs. Get your design right from the start. This is a high priority to meet the needs of the analyzer. On the flip side, be calm, be strong, be assertive. Work to your strengths and don't be daunted by any part of doing a presentation. These people are here to listen to you and learn from you. Remember that. Remember also to clearly highlight your key messages and provide factual answers rather than opinions to their questions. Use logic, data, and facts throughout your presentation. For the safekeeper, explain the structure of your presentation at the start and let them know some of the questions that your presentation will answer or what knowledge that will provide. That's what I did right from the start of today's presentation. Be direct and confident. You know your stuff, so get on the front foot with all your presentations. Stick to your structure and most importantly, stick to your time. Don't be one of these people who say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm running out of time. I'm going to have to rush through these last few slides. Wrong. Practice, practice, practice. Prepare. Be ready. And finally, identify any risks or uncertainties that are associated with your work. Otherwise, in question time, they will. Awkward. For the player, highlight the benefit of your presentation and provide a sense of excitement or challenge that they're about to experience. Be aware of overwhelming them with data and intersperse your presentation with ideas or opportunities to excite them. Be clear on your call to action. These people need to be focused on what you want them to do next. For the carer, just make sure you connect with them. Tell them something personal about yourself and start with a story. That's going to really help them understand who you are as a person rather than just a position you fill. Refer to the people involved in your project, be they colleagues or key stakeholders. Mention something about them that they've experienced. Maybe it's some form of emotion they've gone through during the project. That's going to really help connect with the carer. Provide the carer some time to digest facts and give them reasonable time for questions and discussions. And similar to the player, be really clear on your call to action. Here's what I'm wanting you to do next. So by now, you should be really clear about the 4 different types of people within your audience. They're going to have a different behavioural style to yours. That you need to design your presentation to cater for this rather than just catering for your own style. And make sure you use the checklist and incorporate at least one into each of these styles to make sure you're meeting their needs. So there you go. I also now have a checklist to say thanks for sticking with me throughout the webinar. You can go to either of those links to download it, and certainly get in touch with me via my website if you've got any questions about the 4 styles and how you're going to meet them in your presentation. Look forward to hearing from you soon. More importantly, looking forward to hearing about the success of your presentation. Well done. Go get them. Have you gone to the website? What about now? There's good stuff in there. Promise.